Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's Linnea Baker. I am a board certified family nurse practitioner, and I am passionate about educating you on holistic health and wellness and ways to promote health and improve your health and promote longevity and quality of life. Today, I want to talk about debunking calories in and calories out. This has been the mainstay of how we've told people in healthcare to lose weight, and it's absolutely ineffective. I've believed it's been ineffective for a very long time. I have not supported this and thought that it was a poor program, but I want to go through and debunk, kind of give you a little more information on why I know it doesn't work today. Okay. So what is calories in and calories out? And what that means is basically this is the mainstay of quote unquote diets. You guys who have been following me know the word die is in diet, heal is in health. I don't like diets. I like a sustainable lifestyle. But when we have patients or people come into clinic and we're talking about these chronic illnesses and health concerns and weight management, what's the mainstay of what we've recommended for decades? It is cut your calories and increase your exercise, right? That has been the mainstay of what we do to treat, to help people with a weight loss journey and getting healthier and managing chronic illness. And that's what we consider the lifestyle approach. And what this assumes is that when you eat less calories and you increase the amount of energy you're basically how much you're expending the energy, whether you're walking or doing an exercise program, but the more energy you expend, that means you're going to burn more calories. So take in less calories, burn more, and you'll have sustainable weight loss. And it seems to be simple math, right? But it's absolutely incorrect and wrong, and it doesn't work that way. So most actually healthcare providers and nutritionists still recommend this method. It's even when I was doing my research for this, it's still recommended on the Mayo Clinic site. And I love Mayo Clinic, but this is still, with all the information we have out there on gut health and intermittent fasting and other holistic health and wellness sustainable lifestyles that are out there with that support gut health. I can't believe that this is still the mainstay of what was on Mayo Clinic site. But when I looked on Harvard Health site, the calories in, calories out method was not listed, which was a relief. So breaking down the calories in, calories out, it assumes that 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. A lot of you who have done all kinds of different dieting type protocols probably know this. And it assumes that, like I said, you lower your calorie intake, you increase how much energy expenditure, and you'll lose weight and keep it off. So if you want to lose a pound a week, you take the 3,500 calories equals 1 pound, you divide it by 7. And theoretically, the way this works is if you decrease 500 calories per day, right, in your nutrition by increasing your energy and decreasing the calories in, increasing your exercise program, so calories being burned or expended energy, then you should lose a pound a week. And it looks at carbohydrates being 4 calories per gram, proteins 4 calories per gram, and staying away from fats because that's 9 calories per gram. So you're not getting as much food when you're eating the fat foods. That's the mindset behind it. It assumes all calories are equal. And it doesn't matter what you eat or when you eat, as long as you're looking at the calories, you're good. So when we look at the facts of the calories in, calories out approach, we're looking at people eating frequent small meals a day, usually every 2 to 3 hours. They're averaging 5 to 6 meals. That's kind of what average Americans will eat. The average American nutrition plan during the day, they're eating 5 to 6 times a day or more. But typically 5 to 6 times a day or every 2 to 3 hours on a calorie in, calorie out kind of diet plan. People are feeling hangry, they're starving, they're hungry. It's not satiating them. I find that people get very fixated and focused on calorie counting, and they spend all this time on apps and focusing on this for the majority of the day. They're constantly thinking about food and what they can and can't have. And if they eat this, then they can't have that. And and it takes over their life and becomes more of a stressor, which works against us too. And we know it doesn't work. I've been in healthcare for over 25 years. I've had my own battles with trying to manage my health, as you guys know that I've shared, but it doesn't work. And let me show you some of the statistics on obesity and why I know this. So obesity in the United States. So in the US, there is none of the states in the US have an obesity rate less than 20%. In fact, all 50 states have an obesity rate of 30% or higher, with the exception of DC, which is 20 to 25%. And in 1995, there were no states that had an obesity rate above 20%, guys. Nobody was over 20% obesity back in 1995 as far as state averages. Obesity rates were below 20%. Now they're 30% and higher pretty much. And during the past few decades, what's been our focus for our nutrition and getting people on a health journey and losing weight? Our focus has been weight loss through eating less and moving more, which is the calories in, calories out method. And clearly, when you look at the data, it doesn't work. Now, I know you're going to say, well, it doesn't work because people aren't disciplined enough or they're not really following it. And that's not true. Yes, there are times people are quote unquote non-compliant. That's with anything, right? But truly, you can just sit here and think to yourself. And I know I sat there and I thought to myself about times I've tried this method and followed. We know people are following the recommended program, yet when they restrict the calories, how many of you have done this before, right? You restrict the calories and you try to increase your exercise. So you're starving, you feel hangry, you're working out more than you ever had before, and you feel great initially because you lose weight, even though you have to get through the hangry part and your body is depleted because it doesn't get the nourishment it needs, right? So you lose weight initially and you feel great. But then how many of you have plateaued? You're doing the same things you would expect to maintain those results or continue to improve and lose more weight. You plateau. And then what happens is you're busting your hump. You're at the gym 2 to 3 hours a day, most days of the week. You're constantly thinking about what you're eating and keeping those calories low. You feel like you've done all the right things. You can sit there and do your apps and you can document what you've been doing. And guess what? You hit your plateau and then all of a sudden, maybe you even start gaining some of the weight back. It's so extremely frustrating. I can't tell you how many clients I've had, people who get on the phone with me or meet me in person, and they're in tears because they feel like there's no answers, that there's something wrong with them. They blame themselves. They feel guilty. And they feel like they must be doing something wrong because this should work. And I understand because I've been there, and it's not your fault. Okay. It's not your fault. It's our fault as healthcare providers and as a nation, giving you the wrong tools. We've given you the wrong information and tools and then made you feel guilty when it didn't work. When all the information we have shows us that the calorie in, calorie out failure rate is 99.2%, guys. So if we have a failure rate of 99.2%, why on earth are we recommending this and following it? Well, I haven't followed or recommended this in a long time, and I've always kind of branched out of the norm and had other ideas. But now with even more research and more understanding, I'm realizing why this doesn't work, and leaning more into the gut health and intermittent fasting and definitely some other holistic areas of health and wellness that do show improvement and do work with our bodies. So we shouldn't blame ourselves. We need to change the program and give you different tools. Okay. And if someone told you that you were going to go take a medication or have a medical procedure and there's a 99.2% fail rate, you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't. Nobody would. It'd be crazy. So why are we following this? So I want to give you the ability to let that stress off your shoulders. Stop putting that on yourself that there's something wrong with your body or wrong with you. We gave you the wrong tools and we're going to give you the right tools now. That's part of what I'm passionate about. So there was a women's health initiative when we look at studies, and this one was a really big one. So I wanted to share. They studied over 50,000 women over a 7.5-year period. And it was a huge randomized control trial, which is a good trial, okay? When you have a control group and it's randomized, that means it's got better quality data from the research, from the study. And one group they put into a low fat and low calorie group where they ate whole grains, fruits, and veggies. And what they did is they had them lower their caloric intake by 361 calories per day, and they increased their exercise by 14%. And then the other group just followed their usual diet. And the results were absolutely mind-blowing because the weight difference between the two groups was less than 2 pounds. And what they expected in group one, when you do the math and you subtract 361 calories a day and you multiply that over a year, it should have been about 36 pounds lost in a year, simple math. And instead, there were only a less than 2 pound weight difference. And what was crazy and really makes you pay attention is that the group one that had the low fat, low calorie, and to increase their exercise, they actually had an increase in their waist measurements. I think their baseline was like 35 inches and it went up like half an inch in the abdomen. That's not from muscle, guys. Okay, that's not where we want to gain an increase in size. We want to have a smaller waist size to decrease our risk factors for chronic disease, heart disease, and other things. So this absolutely was an impactful, pivotal moment in getting studies supporting other methods and getting away from this calorie in, calorie out. It supports and debunks. Well, it doesn't support. It supports what I'm telling you today by debunking the calorie in, calorie out theory. Over 50,000 women in a 7.5-year period. And this is true for men and women, but this was the study that I thought was really impactful to share. So here's a secret, guys. I know we trust our healthcare providers and they're amazing and they've gone to a lot of schooling, but most medical programs, they just don't spend a lot of time on nutrition. It's a very minimal piece of what we get, and we're still being trained on the basics when we go through our program. So that means we're still learning about the food pyramid and the calorie in, calorie out. They're not talking about gut health and all the other things that are going on with our bodies and getting away from that. So that's why when you go in, it's simple to most healthcare providers, simple math. Just go ahead and calories in, calories out, exercise more, decrease the calories you're taking in. But you guys can see now it's not your fault. We gave you the wrong tools and it doesn't work. So research, my professional and my personal experience has shown that gut health matters, metabolism matters, timing of food matters, what we eat matters. The insulin hormone has a huge impact on our overall ability to lose weight. Eating small, frequent meals is not good for our overall health and well-being. Our bodies weren't designed to eat those small, frequent meals every 2 to 3 hours. Think back to ancient times, prehistoric times. We couldn't eat every 2 to 3 hours because there wasn't a food supply like that. We didn't have the ability to store food like that, and we didn't have access to food like that. So our bodies were never designed to eat like that. And trust me, this comes from a person who I used to wake up and eat first thing in the morning. I used to be hungry all the time. I thought that if I skipped a meal, my metabolism was slowing down. This was my mindset. So for me to do the research and see from personal experience, from working with other clients, from doing the research and get to the part where I'm like, okay, the small frequent meals is not it. I never really truly got my head around the calories in, calories out because I felt like it was not a good plan to begin with. And I knew that wasn't it. But the eating every 2 to 3 hours, keeping your metabolism up, I thought that was it. And it's not, okay? And then we also know that over-exercising actually leads to increased inflammation. So when you're killing yourself at the gym, trying to work out to the point of just breaking yourself, you're actually creating more harm than good. Okay, so there is a place for exercise and physical movement, and we do want that, but there has to be a balance and it has to be done the right way where we're not creating inflammation. We also know that sleep matters and stress matters. So there's so much more to this. It's holistic. So in summary, what we've been doing for the last few decades is all wrong. Calories in, calories out is all wrong. It's not you. Don't feel guilty or blame yourself. It's the tools and information you've been given. We gave you the wrong tools and information. So now I'm here on this platform to educate you. I'm so passionate about what I get to do. My mission is to positively impact your health and wellness through education and coaching in order to create generational health. I come from a pediatric clinic background. I've worked cardiac, heart patients. I've been in medicine 25 years. I've worked with adults, kids, all ages, all types of patients. We say from cradle to grave, from birth to end of life. And I know, as much as I loved being in the pediatric clinic and working with families, I can make a bigger impact in overall health and impact those kids when I help parents get on a health journey, give them the right tools, give them the education, and coach and support them, because that will transform their family's nutrition, which will impact their children, and their children will grow up to have healthier habits and live a healthier, more productive, happier life. Okay. So it's about going from surviving to thriving and having the right tools. I have a program that works great. It's sustainable. It's easy. Plus it allows overall health and wellness, and it's holistic. So I have tools and programs in place that will work, and I individualize those based on your personal health goals. So if any of this speaks to you and you want to reach out to me, you can private message me or comment below. I would be honored to get to talk with you and do a free health consult. Okay. So let me know if you want that. And I'm excited to bring you more great information that are going to be more tools in your pocket that will help you on your own personal health journeys. Okay, guys, take care. I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for watching.